I haven't made one of these in a while, but we used a new monster. Well, not a new monster. I used an old monster in an encounter that my party ran across in the deep realm, because we're breaking away from saying Underdark. I'm going to talk about the Harpy. And I don't know why they've changed up the appearance a little bit. They used to be the vestiges of attractive but twisted, and now they're ugly or old crones or whatever, and they've changed the kind of bird. I've always thought it was avian, and that bird type could be, adjusted by your DM's thing. Now, in the newer editions, I think they refer to them as vulture-like, and in Old School Essentials, eagle-like. I just say nasty bird, so crow or vulture or any kind of scavenger, because they behave like scavengers. And they're vindictive, hateful, and mean, and innately cowardly. So that's more like a scavenger bird than a predatory bird. Right. But they're just magical monstrosities, aberrations. If you need that, go down that 3E version of just classifying everything into a certain type, whatever. I consider them a type of chimera, because it is a mix of creature types in one form. So in my little folder on Roll20, when I put creatures up, they're under chimera, because they're a mix of different types of monster, right? Human and bird. They don't have a really decent attack, and they have low hit dice and shitty and not great AC, right? So if you get initiative on them and you're not charmed or whatever, you can pretty much cut down a group of harpies. My party had a lot of problems with them. I'll get to that in a minute. A mid-level party whose saves are decent will be able to shrug off the charming effect. If you're playing AD&D or back in the day, then your elven members are going to be resistant from their song anyway. And anyone who can't hear, who's deafened, for people who like to play crippled characters for some reason, or you had time to stuff the beeswax in your ear, they can't charm you in modern with their song. Old School Essentials, they get a group of harpies can charm with their song, not the individual. So if there's just one, it says group. If it can sing, I still allow it, right? I remember back in the day, every time they touched you, it was a save versus spell or be charmed. That's pretty powerful. But we cut them down like wheat. It wasn't no big deal. Furball, or practically had unlimited magic missiles, right? So they're really a big threat to low-level parties. Well, I'm running a dwarf game. Everybody's got bonus to magic, and I consider that charming song magical, and you get mental bonus. So if you got wisdom bonus, you get save versus that, because it's a charm effect. Let's talk about the Harpy, not the situation where they got used. Craven. So they are cowardly. Their area of effect on their charm is huge. So if you can hear it, whether that's 60-foot radius, or 90-foot radius, or 300-foot diameter, it's big. So everything rolls saving throw. Now, in the system I'm using, you get one save, and for the rest of the encounter, you don't have to worry about it. So you make your save the first time, blah, blah. But since it's not a recurring saving throw, I actually made it a little stronger. The charm is stronger. So when you're charmed, you start walking towards them, like going towards the siren's call. And then, if they give you orders and stuff, you'll comply if you understand. Otherwise, you're fascinated, even ignoring them when they try to feast on you or damage you. The charm can only be broken by the death of the harpy, or something that gives you an extra saving throw or something, which makes them incredibly mean. If your whole party fails their save, it's a TPK. Everybody's dead. They're going to get devoured by a bunch of harpies. Maybe even be forced to make baby harpies with the harpies. Some of your bard tops who insist on being able to sleep with anything will suddenly be like forced to sleep with a harpy against their will, make harpy eggs, and then get their brains bashed in when they're asleep. They don't really collect treasure a lot, but they like shiny trinkets and jewelry. So they will bedazzle themselves with jewelry. But in any opportunity where they don't have to fight, If they've charmed enough and you attack the harpy, then the charmed people will defend their mistress. You just attacked the most precious thing in the world. What's wrong with you? I have to stop you. Which is what happened to my party. They took a ton of followers. And I allowed the followers to be taken on an adventure because it was a rescue mission. And then they pressed on and they found some harpies. And they had 20 first level dwarves as their minions. They were planning on gunning stuff down when they saw it. But when they heard the song, 13 of the 16 they had in the room, 4 back watching the boats, all became charmed. All the PCs made their saving throws. But the problem is, now all that muscle they brought to do the heavy lifting, to guard the boats, to carry their shit, was now defending the harpies. They didn't want to kill them. That is an interesting tactic to use for your harpies. Their previous victims may not be dead yet, but they will defend them. So if you're trying to find the missing child from the village, missing child from the village is coming at you with a bone club trying to base your brains in. Do you kill the child? Do you have spells to immobilize? Is the fighter going to have to do something rough like sidewalk slam a toddler? Yeah, having a sleep spell for those 0 level guys will come in handy. So I always recommend having a sleep spell for low lives, or the poor charmed victim. Other effects that players usually don't have easy access to because they don't put a lot of faith in them or they don't consider them good because they'd rather kill their opponents are fear effect. If you can make them all run away, then you can avoid killing them. And if you kill the harpy, you break the charm. Otherwise, they're enslaved. And if you go away and then come back, then you have to make a saving throw again. But for that one encounter, if you make your save, you can keep on swinging. I find them to be pretty tough opponents. Their AC is weak. And my party was kind of thrown off the fact that they didn't attack. After they charmed, they told them to go away, leave these people to us. And they're like, nope, fired arrows at them. So they flew up out of range and hid while all the newly charmed, enthralled, basically their walking larder, ran off and to defend them. It puts your characters in a really tough bind, ethically. It could be some alignment problems. The paladin having to cut down all these dudes. People realizing that having something that dispels magic or incapacitates rather than kills is handy to have in your repertoire. Maybe carrying a scroll of sleep or the bottled sleep gas is not a bad idea. You never know. We just need to knock someone out rather than crack their skull open. I know some players have a hard time with that. We just kill everything. If we killed your NPC, he's in the way without fear of repercussions. I'm a big. There's always repercussions. Killing your followers and then trying to recruit more could be difficult. So throwing that out there. How to use harpies? They fly pretty good. There's a movement rate of 18, 180 feet. That's pretty distant. If forced to fight, 2 claw attacks and a weapon, not bad. But that crappy AC. If you got stuff, if you're a charming creature, then you're going to have charmed servants. I've never seen it say that they keep them around. Maybe they're just voracious and don't appreciate their minions. They just eat them as much as possible. And they're wasteful and vindictive and disgusting. So they don't value stuff. It's going to be covered with harpy shit. Or broken or cast aside. And they're hateful and spiteful. Truly despicable creatures. The epitome of chaotic evil. Right? They are chaotic evil. So just throwing that out there. Because I used it in a counter. And as I come across more creatures that I'm using in my campaigns, I'll talk about them a little more. That's how I use harpies. I use them infrequently because I think they're kind of that everybody make a say is a huge area of effect. I did the TPK almost came when 13 of their followers were now 13 enemies. And they had almost buffed them up before going around and exploring that tower. If they had buffed them up, then buffs would still be on them. If they had upped their armor between sessions, they would have been right there with buffed up armor. So when you bring around a lot of low-level minions, be careful. That can pivot on you in certain situations. I'll talk about environmental concerns later, because they're all adventuring along this long river. You're going to come up on a big lake, and lakes and drowning don't care about your hit points or your levels. Sorry, dude. Looks like you're going to drown. Anyway, get your game up. Let's talk about games less, play your games more. Have fun, guys.